This episode is powered by Bet Online. Bet Online is your number one source for all your summer sports this season, from MLB, golf, NBA, and NHL playoff stats. All the latest stats, news, and scores available to follow your favorite teams. Get the latest odds and lines, including the latest team matchups, player props, and odds on just about every sport out there. Head to the website today or use your mobile device to get in the action. Bet Online, where the game starts. Please bet responsibly. Yo, Sneak This Podcast, episode 357. Greg, no George in the building. Doing a solo episode this week. Appreciate everybody who likes, subscribe, and share this podcast. You know, some of you guys may be hearing my voice right now and like, I'm out of here. Just only Greg episode. And some of you are like, oh, I need that. I understand that. But this week, doing it from home. We'll be back in the studio next week. Do want to give you guys some updates, and I apologize for the late episode this week. Usually we do post up the audio by every Tuesday night. My son has tons and tons of club soccer tryouts, so we've been doing that all week. He's actually there right now with my wife. I had to coach his other team today, so as our season is winding down for his other club team, he's picking up tryouts with other teams, so he's excited about that. And obviously family comes first, so the episode is a little bit late, but it's about 7 o'clock here right now. Went to work today and all that stuff, so I came through just to make sure I did an episode for you guys to make sure we stay on track. Want to give you guys a few updates. You can probably already tell just by the intro of the podcast is a little bit different. George and I decided to move the podcast to a network. So we moved our podcast to Believe Network. It's a sports entertainment network. They have all sports podcasts on there, and they have a few lifestyle podcasts on there as well. And they approached us to joining their family, and it wasn't an easy decision for me. I wanted to make sure it was the right thing. Make sure that we maintain who we are as a podcast, and that was the one thing they guaranteed. We still get to be who we are. Benefit to the listeners is that there will be a episode every single week now, so we're no longer doing the every other week, but it'll only be one episode in studio, and then I'll be doing one episode at home the other week. So it'll be next week in the studio. The next week I'll be doing one at home. So I'll be doing episodes from home quite often. But I do want to tell you this for everybody who listens to the podcast, and we appreciate every single one of you. Since I'll be doing an episode every week at home, this is where I do want to get back into having listeners call in and participate on the podcast. Possibly I'll be able to set up the video in here. It's sort of tight. I'm really blinded by the light right now because I'm not wearing my sunglasses. I know this the people that are listening in the car right now don't understand what I'm saying, but if you're watching the YouTube video, that was partly why, the lights in my closet they're just bright and in my face, and shout out to circular sunglasses, dude. I remember when I think the first time I did a closet episode or during COVID, I had talked about I don't know how much I can do this because the lights were so bright, and somebody who listens to the podcast who works for them out in the UK sent over every pair of sunglasses they had, and so I would wear them in the closet, and when you guys would ask me, yo, what sunglasses are those, and I'd hit you with the link yo, here you go, that's where I got them from. So shout out to them. I'm gonna try to get through these without them, you know what I mean, because it is a super duper glare. I did a test video just to see what it would look like, but this light that my son has, it's a bigger light, since he's a barber, and it is bright. So, but like I said, the solo episodes at home will give me an opportunity to connect back with the listeners. So if you're listening to the podcast right now, hey, hit me up. Say you want to be on an episode, but I got to tell you this. It'll probably be just audio over Skype. I may just do video as well. I don't know. I'll make that determination before we record an episode. Next week, I would love to have somebody to talk to. It won't be like a traditional Sneak This episode. It's going to be maybe around an hour 20, hour and a half. It will never reach the time frames that a regular episode meets. But it'll be a traditional episode, talk about a few topics here and there, maybe ask a few questions and get to know the listeners. But if you're listening to this podcast right now and you want to call in or be on an episode of the podcast, hit me up, DM me on Twitter or Instagram, and we can make it happen. But you have to work with my schedule. So I'll still be recording on Tuesdays until I get my son's soccer schedule, and I will be recording on Tuesdays, Arizona time. No later than 6 p.m. Arizona time. So I'm not going to be recording at 8 o'clock at night unless I'm busy. But I need the people who want to participate in the episode, who want to call in and want to talk about topics and stuff like that. You got to work with me. I can't work with you. I'm not going to be recording on Saturdays. I'm not going to be recording on Sundays. It has to be 6 p.m. my time in Arizona, and you got to make it work for you. So, and it could be a little bit earlier. It could be, 6:30-ish, but I cannot record past that time. That's the one thing that I will stay solid on. So if you want to call in and you want to participate in an episode, you have to make that happen. So like I said, we'll be going back to weekly episodes. You will be hearing more ads and things like that. But, I feel it's a benefit to the podcast. I've avoided a lot of other networks for probably 6 years. A lot of small networks who, wanted to either acquire the podcast, take ownership of the podcast, or, something that, they put a lot of rules on George and I. I remember one network had reached out, small network, podcast network had reached out, and they were like, well, we would love, you can't say this and you can't say that because, it would, what if we want to work with that brand one day? And then I said, oh, then that can't be for us. I'm like, you got to take the good with the bad, and, it's things, you got things that are fire and things that suck and things that are garbage and things that are trash and things that are aight. It happens. You know what I mean? You guys have listened to this podcast long enough to know how George and I get busy on here. Pause. So, or No Diddy, whichever one you guys are rolling with now. I still like Pause. No Diddy, it's funny. That's an internet thing, but it's neither here nor there. So that's sort of the update with the podcast. So, pickups this weekend. So, obviously a couple boxes came in, shout out to the homie. I'm not going to say who that is, but, boxes come in with stuff that, we acquire, we order. That's how I'll put it. But I did get some Cortezes, and typically on the podcast, like when I do them at home, I would like unbox something or show something. Not today. Maybe with an episode I don't have a caller or an episode where it's just me. I'll get back to that. A lot of people like seeing things that I have in my closet. I have a very diverse collection. You know what I mean? I don't just have all Jordans. I just don't have all Nikes. I have a very, very diverse collection. I love showing things. I love pulling out sneakers that like I haven't went back in the closet and looked at in a long time. So it always makes me feel good that like somebody gets to see something that they've never seen before, or something that they forgot existed, or something that they've been considering buying but didn't really know how it looked, whatever. I always love doing that. So, but not this episode. But like I said, my pickups this week, I got Sail and Gorge Green Cortezes. They're called, I think, Viotech Cortezes. They're all purple. I don't know. Purple Cortezes. That's what I'll call them. Viotech, all them names. Look, they're purple. And then I got, what else? Oh, Carolina blue, UNC color, whatever you want to call it. Air Max 1s. Fire. Man, I feel like there's something I'm missing. I don't know. I got my son Olive 5s. Oh, Bookers, Black Book Havens. They don't really feel the same right now, but I'm gonna get to that in a little bit. And I think that was it for everything that I got in the box. George, I got a bunch of things. I'll let him say his pickups next week, and some of the homies were able to get a few things as well. So, actually, you know what? I wrote them down right here. Oh, and Jordan 4 militaries. I got that on the shock drop or second shock drop. I don't know what it was. It's like they had a shock drop, and I didn't try on sneakers that one. I literally went like, I'm good, because I had a pair coming already. And then randomly I'm sitting in the office at work and I got the notification exclusive access to Jordan 4 military. So I was like, all right, well, you know what? If the shock drop and I got access, that's clearly a sign. So I'm going to have to cop these. So I did. So shout out to Sneakers App for that. And I think that's it. All right. So since George isn't here, releases. What's funny is I always give George a hard time when he's doing releases. I always give him a hard time about it, just because I like to interrupt and give my take or point of view on each release that comes out. And George is always looking to get through releases as quick as possible. But I'll tell you, every time I got to do releases for the podcast while doing solo episodes myself, it is hard. So I'm going to go through some of the releases this week. And since we'll be back doing weekly episodes, that means you only got to do 1 week of releases now. So that's a little bit of benefit to you guys to listen to all those releases. Also a benefit to us to keep on track of what we actually got to go get through. Let's see. All right, I got my phone to look at the pictures of them, even though I know what all of them look like. We got the Jordan Jumpman Jack TR. That's obviously the trainer. Travis Scott. I don't think it's bad. I don't think I really thought much about it when they first came out. I tried to enter a couple raffles and I tried on sneakers, but I literally tried on sneakers when it expired to join the raffle. And then for some reason, the Undefeated one, they had loaded and said join the raffle, and then you couldn't join it. Then they had sent a message out later saying like they're going to post it later or something like that. So I didn't get any entries in, and I'm glad because $200 for that trainer is crazy. Now, maybe the leather is really good or something like that, but $200 for a trainer is out of control to me. We also got the Kobe 8 Mambasita. No, thank you. And look, okay. Look. And those are for women and girls to me, all right? Unless it's got butterflies on it, and for what it stands for and means, hold on, let me preface this, right? Because I know people love being bothered by things that I'm talking about how I feel for certain things. I'm not wearing those. Those are for women and girls to me. If you want to buy them, buy them. It's okay. Tag me. I'll repost it. I'll give you a fire emoji or a salute emoji. I'll give it to you. You know what I mean? But I don't like them. I think they're for women, and I think they're for little girls too. But, it's what it is. Yo, what's up with GoatApp, man? GoatApp is raggedy lately, man. Shout out to Goat, man. They gave us an opportunity, a long time ago. But man, that app is weird. I think GOAT has a lot of better things than StockX, but StockX app and experience of buying online is dramatically better than GOAT. We also got the Harden Volume 8, the Blue Fusions. Look, I love the Harden. I've already talked about on this podcast the Hardens and the Anthony Edwards and things like that, and things that Adidas is doing and how recognizable they are on the court. I know I've seen some people reposting Sneaker Complex Sneaker Podcast, had somebody on there talking about basically the same thing that I talked about, months ago about them being more recognizable on the court, but, God bless. But these Hardens are fire to me. And I'm going to talk about the Harden a little bit later in parallel with the Anthony Edwards, but we'll get to that. The LeBron 21 Optimism. I thought these were like what does it looks like it's a multicolored LeBron 21. Fam, I mean, them joints should be called delusionals. All right. And I love the Lakers. I love the Lakers. I love the Suns. I love the Lakers. I love the Warriors. I root for the Blazers a bit. These are all areas, the Kings a little bit. These are all areas that I have connection to. I know some of you guys are like, bro, you can't root for more than one team. Fam, it's awesome. You've been born and raised and lived in the exact same spot your entire life. I lived in quite a few places, so leave me alone. These LeBron 21 Optimisms, no thank you. What else we got? We got the Mac Attack Better with Age. Fire. Now, when these joints hit the outlets for $76.12, I'm going to be right there watching. But if you want to pay retail, these joints are a must cop. And I think they're retail like $120, so it ain't nothing stupid fire. But I'm liking retros having a vintage look now. You know what I mean? And I guess that makes more sense because I haven't seen anything new with a vintage look. You know what I mean? But the Mac Attacks, I think it kind of failed for Nike. It didn't have the same impact on, sneaker culture and for sneaker enthusiasts as they thought it would. I think everybody who were really into sneakers probably grabbed one at least. I have two, um, maybe three. I don't know. Um, and I haven't worn them one time. You know what I mean? And this doesn't mean that they suck or anything. It's just when I put them on, something doesn't feel right about them to me. They don't look right on me. And that was in the wintertime when I tried them on. So I think maybe in the summertime I may be able to swing them joints with some shorts. But I don't know yet. We gotta see because shortnomics is coming back. And if you ain't listened to this podcast long enough, shortnomics is when your shorts are just right. It's the ratio between your knees and your sneakers. All right. See, shortnomics era, you can wear basketball sneakers outside if you want to, if you choose to. Will I? Maybe, maybe not. Not as a fit, but I'm just going to head down the street for a minute. I'll throw on a pair of LeBrons or something like that if I feel like it. I'm going to Home Depot or something like that. Need to grab some lumber. I'll put on some LeBron red carpets, LeBron 7 red carpets or something like that. You never know. Catch me outside. Then looks like the Air Force One Evo. What? I'm assuming the Evo stands for evolution, and these suck. Okay. It's funny, right? There's an Air Force One, there's an Air Force Two, there's an Air Force Three. Obviously, the Air Force One is the most popular out of all Air Forces. And it's a historic cult classic. And we're going to talk about cult classics next week on the episode with George because, Nike is releasing some that they consider quote unquote cult classics. There's only 2 out of all those that are cult classics to me and probably to most people who've been in sneakers for a really, really long time. Me and George are probably going to do a top 10 cult classics to us that they should retro or re-release. But these Air Force One Evo, and I'm assuming the Evo stands for evolution, these suck. I see what they tried to do, but fam, dual visible air pockets? Come on, fam. Y'all gotta grow up. Looks like we got now these right here, there's 2 of them. New Balance, is it a 993? Where is it at? New Balance 993 Teddy Santis, both of them. A Chive and an Interstellar colorway. Purple and then the green one. I'll talk about the green one first. Fire. Must cop. I will be trying to cop these. Period. Now, I'm saying that now, but if the price point on these joints is over 200, I don't know. And odds are with a New Balance, these joints may be anywhere from 220 to 230. But the green one, fire. The purple Interstellar, stupid fire. Now, if I got to pick one over the other one, I'm going to go with the purple, even though I should probably buy the green because the green will go with much more clothing that I wear. But I got to try to get both. Now, the best thing that I should probably do in order to get both is probably sell something or sell a couple things, then buy both. But obviously, I'm not very intelligent because I keep buying sneakers over and over and over and over and over and over and over instead of being smart and buying the ones that I really, 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 really want and wear. Problem is, there's a lot of sneakers that I really, 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 really want to wear, and then I still don't wear them. So, I don't know. I think I told Andy and all of them, I think I'm up to like 13 pair of DS Cortezes. Help. Now, this says the Nike KD4 Weatherman drop next week or something like that, or this week, next week, or it's upcoming. Copped. Now, I and George supposedly have pairs on the way, but you can never be too safe out here in these streets. Whatever outlet or whatever that I can to get a raffle, or if anybody's listening and they want to help out, I'm going to be going. I got to get these ones. I still have about 2 or 3 KD4s left from when they originally dropped back then. And what's funny is I wore them to the gym the other day and a guy was shooting hoops. I was just, shooting around on the other side of the court, and he came over, he said, "Fam, where'd you get those?" He thought they retroed, and I said, shoot, I don't know, about 15 years ago. Like, I think I bought these before I got married. Like, this a long time ago. And he was like, "Oh, so you just got them? They just look pristine." I said, "Yeah, man, I don't wear a lot of my stuff, and I didn't wear these, you know what I mean, that often. So I come here and shoot hoops in them." He was like, "Man, them is crazy." I was like, "Yeah, but Weathermans are a must cop. All right, period. It's one of the greatest theme sneakers and done correctly of all time. And you know what? That's a fact. Like, maybe I gotta put that down for a top 10 too. Top 10 instead of just the themed SBs, themed sneakers of all time. Maybe I don't know. We could think about that. And then the Jordan Loca 2 Bright Mango. It's fine. The Luka 2 was grown on me. When I first saw the pictures of Luka 2s, I was like, nah, Luka 1s are better. But over time, they've gotten a little bit better to me. I don't think his colorways are good. I don't think they were that good on the 1 or 2. He may have had 2 or 3 colorways that I thought were good on the 1. And on the 2s, I think maybe 1 I've seen that I thought like, oh, that's a fire colorway. The rest of these, eh. What else we got here? It looks like the Supreme Darwins are dropping. So it looks like 3 colorways. A camo. So it's a Supreme Darwin Low SBs. For those that don't know, the Darwin is unofficially the Dennis Rodman's. It was like the sneaker that Dennis Rodman wore on the court. It wasn't a signature sneaker for him, but it was one that had the DRC sole that was like made for street ball. They were like boots. Like I think I have a pair of canvas Darwin's, an OG pair. Yeah, I think I have a pair somewhere. I don't remember. But Darwin's were one of those sneakers that like everybody had, and you could get it like your Mervyn's or JC Penney's or your Foot Lockers or Champs and places like that. Like Darwin's was universally out there. And let me preface this. It wasn't just a Darwin thing. You used to be able to get Jordan 11 Concords at JC Penney's and things like that. So it wasn't just that. It was just that like, I just remember those days of going down the aisles in a Mervyn's or a Montgomery Ward or a JC Penney, and all the sneakers were at like, eye level, and you would see the sneaker on the shelf and you would just look below and you would look for a size and you take the box out and you would sit there on the bench and try it on. You didn't have to go ask somebody to get your size. Some sneakers you did, that was like your Jordan 11 Concords and things like that, but your Flights, a lot of your Pippins, your Spreewells, things like that, they were old school, all on the shelf. When stores trusted, when the consumer could be trusted to not go inside and grab a box and run out the door now. You can't trust anybody nowadays. That was the good old days. You know what? You see, now you got me thinking, boy, people just used to be so much better. All right. You used to be able to walk through the store, see some Pippins. Ooh, they got the Pippins, the white and red ones. They got my size. Dang it. They ain't got my size. Oh, they got your size though, homie. The homie could grab his size out, put both shoes on. Both shoes would be in the box. Put them on. Yeah, I don't know. Nah, no, thank you. And now some George wouldn't put them back in the box and leave the store. But those are anomalies. Those were anomalies. Now you can't trust nobody to do nothing right nowadays. But the Air Darwins are dropping. I think they're about 120 on Supreme. I think I saw on Supreme Leaks they're gonna be about 120, 118, something like that. I'm glad they're coming out with the low top pair. The high tops is an absolutely no go. All right. And I have a high top pair, which is probably why I don't wear them. And I think mine are green. I think they're like a forest green or something like that. But the low tops, oh yeah. And this camel pair, fire. The Volt pair, fire. The black pair, fire. The Carolina pair, fire. All of them are fire on Supreme. You know what? I may end up copping. I don't know. I'm a crazy person. What else comes out? Dunk Low Ultramans. Code Japan, co.jp, whatever. Ultramans are a part of the cult classics that are releasing on sneakers or Nike or whatnot. Now, I don't think I would have. I'm not going to say that they're not a cult classic, but the Ultramans are stupid fire. This is an automatic cop. This is the automatic at retail cop. And I might just buy now off Gold or StockX right now because I think they're at retail on there and you pay a little extra whatever just to go ahead and do it. I probably could get them for retail on all sites and whatnot, but the Ultramans are a must cop. If you've copped any other dunks that you thought were stupid fire, sorry, you got to buy Ultramans. You got no choice. I don't make the rules. If you bought Miamis and you bought ASUs and you bought Court Purples and you bought this and you bought that and the Undefeated collab and that, and you don't buy Ultramans, I don't know, man. May have to cancel your dunk collection. And Ultramans are a must cop to me. Stupid fire. Do I consider them a cult classic? I don't know about that. But them joints is stupid fire. to me. We got Wemby sneaker coming out. So it's like his player edition of the GT. What is it? GT Hustle 2. It got the alien logo on the back, which is, I think, has been confirmed as his logo. These are his player edition shoe. I'm not really a fan of the colorways of the shoe. I'm not really a fan of the shoe that much per se. I think I like the shoe, but I think the price is what scares me the most. GTs, GT cuts, GT hustles, GT whatever, them joints are expensive. Now, I don't know anybody who hoops in them. I don't know anybody who has a basketball experience in them joints, but I ain't paying that much for no basketball shoe. It's really hard. You know what's funny? Is like, I think I feel comfortable putting my KD 4s on and going to shoot around and hoop in them because they were only 120. Like, people forget that KD 4s were 120, special ones 130 when they first came out. That's low. That's low for a sneaker that is one of the greatest basketball sneakers of all time. It's that model, KD 4, is one of the greatest signature sneaker models of all time. That's a fact. There is nobody who could sit there and deny that. It is the absolute best KD model out of every single one. I think KD is on 13 now. It's by far the greatest KD model of all time. KD 4s had us in a choke hold, and Kobe 8s had us like this. We was choked. And obviously the Jordan 4 military blues. I know a lot of people that got their pairs in hand. I mean, they look good. I mean, you can't go wrong with a military blue. I remember I had a beat up pair that, like, I actually had cut the grass in them a few times. Like, you know, the ones that people say, like, oh, you got to cut the grass. You cut the grass in them. Nah, I actually cut the grass in them joint. You know what's funny is that, you know, when I was high school, college, you know what was funny? This is speaking in Arizona, right? Arizona is just stupid hot, right? And Arizona used to put me in these weird moods. Like, I remember this is back in the day when, like, you really wanted to be fresh and you wanted to wear your sneakers and, you know, you wore them joints like immediately after you copped. I remember some sneakers that I would buy, I would put them on in the store and wear all day. Like, we was going out. There were times that, like, this is what we used to do, me and the homies, right? Swingman jerseys, Mitchell and Ness. We would buy jerseys, hats, and sometimes sneakers literally before going to the party or going to the club. Like, we would put on, I'm like, yo, I'm going to go cop a jersey. I would wear a white tee, my jean shorts, and whatever sneakers, and we would go into the sports store and pick out the jersey or fit for the night. We was always hoping that they had something that, like, nobody knew was out yet or something like that. But, like, we go in there, yo, let me get that Steve McNair red Titans jersey. Throw that joint on, yo, let me get that navy blue Titan tat. Throw that Titan tat on. Or they had my patent leather 11 lows on, and we went straight to the party. Went straight to the frat party, went straight to the house party, then went straight to Mill Avenue. Mill Avenue is like a more tamed Bourbon Street. It used to be cracking. For anybody who lives in Arizona right now, Mill Avenue is sad now. It's very disappointing how it used to be. It used to be cracking. Understatement, all right? I've seen people get beat up, shot. I've seen every single thing on Mill Avenue. It was cracking. You brought your whip out. You drove it up and down the block, showing off, bumping your speakers. Fam, every single weekend, this was my tradition. 2 tacos and a chocolate milkshake from Jack in the Box, and we posted on Mill Avenue and kicked it with the homies. You went out there to see who had the most fire hat on. We was in hat competition with cats that, like, we didn't even talk to these cats, but it was a hat competition. Who was coming out with the most fire hat this weekend? We never gave each other props. Who was coming out with Iceberg? Who was coming out with the rarest throwback? Because Arizona would only get, like, certain throwbacks, but man, I used to be on the hunt. Mitchell and Ness used to hook me up. All right. Like, I mean, they would always, you know, make sure that, like, I'll call Mitchell and Ness store in Philadelphia. They'd be like, yo, we got you, Greg. I paid for them. Don't get me wrong. I wish I got it for free. But they always made sure that, like, they got me. Even when it said sold out on the site, they still had some left, and they made sure I got my pair. So shout out to them, man. Like, shout out to Mitchell and Ness. But yeah, those are the good old days. So back to my original story. Sorry. I would put my sneakers on. Like, so some Saturdays, we're like, yo, let's go to the mall. We go to the mall like around noon or something like that. We go look at some sneakers, cop some sneakers. I would put them joints on. We may go to one of the homegirls' house, one of the homies' house, and we would go. Sorry, my wife is texting me. We would go chill, and then we come home, and then like you want to wash the whip, or you got to do chores around the house for your moms. Mom wanted me to cut the grass and things like that. And this when my dad had already passed away, so like it used to be so hot. Well, sorry, it still is hot. I would be so hot, I wouldn't even take my fit off or my brand new sneakers. I would just start doing the work in them. So like I remember I had got military floors. I got military floors from Just for Feet, right? Just for Feet is a sneaker store out here. It may have been everywhere. I don't know, but it was the Arizona spot. I had a basketball court. We used to be in there hooping at midnight. Facts. If you in Arizona and you wasn't hooping in Just for Feet, slap yourself and your mom and dad in half, and I take you up there at midnight. I remember I had my fit on. I had my long jean shorts. I mean, come on, fam. We had our jean shorts on. We had a tall tee on or something. I had some military blue fours on. I think this was the retro it was the retro of them, not the OGs, the retro. I never had the OG military fours, but I had the retro of it. We had put them joints on. I had put them joints on. Then we went to go eat. Then we went to some like party in Mesa. Then we went and did some other shopping. Came back home. I came back home, started working on my car in them. No joke. I used to have air shocks on the back of my car that like you could push a button in the car, and my car used to like get slammed to the ground like lower. Fam, I was into the Fast and Furious stuff. We had DC head. Fam, don't let me get started. All right, don't let me get started. But like I need to replace my air shocks and stuff like that because they would like it'd be so hot they would get holes in them, so I had to replace them. I started doing that, cut the grass at the military for cooked just like that. They turned to beaters the same day I bought them. Those were the good old days. Y'all don't know nothing about that. I know I went on a tangent about that, but you look, military blue fours, it's a must cop. If you like Jordans, it's a must cop. If you like Jordan 4s, it's a must cop. Military 4 with the Nike Air on the back, stop it. Must cop. Yeah, so anyway, so like I said, man, I appreciate everybody who likes, subscribe, share this podcast. And I don't know if I said it, but we're on the Believe Entertainment Network right now for a podcast. So like, give them a follow. Shout out to them for giving us an opportunity to be on their network. Like I said, man, it was something I didn't, I was a little bit nervous about doing, but didn't want to pass up on it. But, let's talk about moments, it's funny watching the NBA playoffs, right? Obviously, everybody's seen the Phoenix Suns get swept, right? And I got into a conversation with a few of the homies, and we were talking about, I was, me being me. I am an OG. I am an actual OG, all right? And there's nothing wrong with knowing that you're an OG, all right? And I know I talked about on this podcast before, and I talked about stories. A lot of people love to be like, yo, stories matter, stories. A lot of these people, and not all of them, I think they forget the stories that matter. And I know I've already talked about this on the podcast, and I mentioned it before, but to me, the only stories that matter for sneakers are sports stories, sports moments, things that happen in sports during this sneakers era, this sneakers run, or actually wearing that sneaker, doing that sports task and making a legendary moment. That's a story to me. Look, I am 100% in favor of inspiration. You take your inspiration from this. I took my inspiration from that. I chose the color of this sneaker based on the beautiful sunsets over Venice Beach. I made this sneaker based off the subways I used to ride when I was a young kid, the colorways of the blocks and the blah, blah, blah. I get that. I understand that. Them other stories, this colorway, my mom used to work late at night. Fam, I don't, stop. Okay, like stop it. Now you're making up stuff. All right, like I don't care. Yo, I remember when I was in school, this guy used to sell this candy. Fam, stop. Stop it. Just say you like these colors. I respect that more. That's not a story to me. That's a story that's just personal to you. And honestly, I think you just made it up, to be honest with you. I hear a lot of these designers come out the blue like, this story is from when my mom used to work late at night and I was by myself and I used to have to make myself oodles or noodles and I remember the package. Stop it. I don't believe you. But I do believe Jordan rising up in the black cement threes over Craig Elo, whop, at the buzzer. I do remember that. I remember Sean Kemp catching an alley-oop from backside, going back door, alley-oop, Gary Payton, whop, whop. I remember Gary Payton posting up with the gloves on, posting them up. Little turn, quick, up and under. Wow, I remember that. Do you? I remember Tim Hardaway in the T-Bugs crossover at the top of the key. Wop, wop, for the Miami Heat. Wop, wop. Not that crossover that, look, there's only a few crossovers I respect, okay? A few, all right? Obviously, the God, Allen Iverson, is one of them, and Stephon Marbury, and there's a few cats out there that got, like, a crossover that you can't deny. The art of the crossover is the quickness. Tim Hardaway crossover, it was bap, bap. It wasn't one of these. It wasn't all that. It was bap, bap. In the T-Bugs, fam, I should pull my T-Bugs out right now. I had the OG colorway, Miami Heat colorways, but the only colorways I got right now is the silver with the line when you unzip it, and then the navy blue when you unzip it, and it got the Carolina blue in the middle. Stupid fire. To me, I had to, fam, I begged for those. I had already bought like 8 sneakers that year, and I had begged my mom and dad for those. Shout out to them, man. But yeah, so that's what I'm talking about. Jordan, the last shot. Yeah, get out of here, Russell. WAP, win championship, retire, fade in the sunset. Those are the stories and things that I remember. You know what I mean? And that's what I associate my sneakers to. Let's talk about today's basketball, right? So obviously the Phoenix Suns that got swept, and like we are in this era, and we are lucky to be in this era of somebody like Anthony Edwards who plays basketball. Okay. I don't mean on the basketball court. I'm talking about somebody who plays basketball. And when I say play basketball, I'm talking about play basketball how I used to play basketball, how we used to play basketball, how they used to play basketball. The goal was to put the ball in the hoop, and the goal was to don't let you put the ball in the hoop. Anthony Edwards does it all. Now, let's talk about the Phoenix Suns, man. You couldn't tell me a team with Booker, Kevin Durant, and Bradley Beal couldn't win one game in an NBA series, a playoff series. You couldn't tell me that. Like, I would have bet everything I had if there would have been a bet that said over or under one win for the Phoenix Suns in the Minnesota Timberwolves series, I would have said over. They got swept. Now, Anthony Edwards is actually him. Me being a sneakerhead, and probably a lot of other sneakerheads and stuff like that, we have mental illness. So watching the game, we can't help but at the same time go, ooh, this is Devin Booker's first signature. This is Anthony Edwards' first signature. You just start making up these additional battles in your head. Then you got KD on the court, who's like at like KD 17. I don't know what he's on right now. And that's just non-factor. We don't care. All right. Awesome that you got him. And I'm glad he may have a lifetime contract with Nike. I don't know. God bless him. We don't care about your your KDs anymore. We care about your KD 4s, and that's it. No. But the Booker, fire. I don't care what anybody says about the Bookers. The Bookers are fire. And what makes it even more fire is when you get a pair and you put them on your feet. I encourage anybody who is on the fence about Bookers. They okay. Bro, they look like Air Force Ones. Somebody messaged me like, yo, bro, is this a skate shoe? It's so much padding. Fam, what? Fam, it's a basketball sneaker. What do y'all been wearing Flyknit and Flight Posit and all these posits and these knits and these thin things too long. You get actual quality on your foot and you guys are like, oh, I can't, my feet hurt. These are too comfy. They're not light. Yeah, they're real basketball sneakers. Fire. I probably should have took my Anthony Edwards out. I bought a pair of Anthony Edwards right after he dunked on John Collins against the Utah Jazz in Utah. When I saw that dunk, I went straight to Adidas site, didn't have my size. I went straight to like just your regular, mall stores, didn't have my size. Went straight to eBay, copped immediately. Immediately. Okay? Immediately. Boy, how the Suns looked in that series made me feel different about my Bookers. My Bookers, I got 2 pairs now. I think I have a third on the way. I don't know. I got 2 pairs as of right now. I got the blue pair and I got the black pair. They will not see summer. Those Bookers are not coming outside. Sorry. I am too disappointed and angry at the effort the Suns put in that series. I'm sorry. It's honestly disgusting. My Bookers, they're not going to see summer. You won't see these Booker. He may have a Booker 2 before you see these Bookers again. I don't know. These will probably come out Halloween night and fall. These may come out at fall. You know what? Boom. Let's mark it right now. I will wear my Haven, the black pair of Bookers, Halloween night. All right. When I give out candy to the kids while my kids are outside trick-or-treating. That's what I would do. These Bookers aren't seeing summer. All right. They're not. That may sound a little bit crazy. You go, bro, what are you talking about? Look, when Kanye started talking crazy, Kanye, I couldn't even look at Kanye sneakers. All right. When he was going on his craziness. Okay. I couldn't even look at him. When Tom Cruise was a little weird over Katie Holmes and jumping on couches and doing kind of weird stuff and getting on TV talking about Scientology, I couldn't watch a Tom Cruise movie. I eventually did, but I couldn't. I was just like, oh, Lord, he's weird. He's odd. Scientology? Fam, are you okay? To each his own. That's the only time you'll ever hear me say something like, to each its own, whatever. It's about religion and politics. You do whatever you like. But no thank you for me. There are many other times that I could think of in sports where I was so disappointed in the performance of a player or the performance of a team. I couldn't even wear, when the Dodgers lost to the Nats, I couldn't even wear a Dodgers hat. Ugh. Patooey. I can't wear the Bookers. Sounds crazy. I can't wear them. I can't wear them this summer. Sorry. I know some of you are like, oh, that's stupid, bro. Sorry, man. I can't. Those, to me, are the real stories for sneakers. Sports moments and sports feats, sports defeats give a story to your sneaker. The Devin Booker is a fire first signature sneaker. But now the story on the Devin Bookers are out there getting swept. Put up a fight and lose. Hey, man, it is what it is. Better showing out there and you lose. Hey, man, Timberwolves a better team. But going out there getting swept and slapped around like that is embarrassing, So, but like I said, man, you ain't going to catch me in them. Anthony Edwards, is him. And I'm going to talk about some Anthony Edwards later because they had an unveiling of the lows. But, actually, you know what? Let's get into this, Let me see. I wrote some stuff down just to keep myself on track. Shout out to the homie, Big Homie Kicks 80, right? I don't know if he created this meme, and I think this is a meme. I don't know if it's a meme. It's more of a statement. Is that a meme? Like, I feel like memes are meant to be. Maybe it is a meme. Okay. I don't know. Anyways, I'll read what the meme says. I don't know if he made the meme or he just reposted it or posted it. He posted it on his Instagram. It had over 7,000 comments, right? Which is insane for the topic of the meme, because it goes to that great old debate, and I'm going to read the meme first before I talk about that debate that you guys do not want to leave alone. And some of you may like what I say, and some of you are not going to like what I say, but I'm sorry, it is true. So the meme that he posted, it said, So let me get this straight, and you can probably see it on screen. I make graphics for my podcast. You know what I mean? I make all these graphics. You see this over here? One of my favorite shows of all time is, pardon the interruption, PTI. When I do closet episodes, I typically do PTI style. When me and George get back in the studio and we go back to two-man, when it's a two-man episode, I'm going to do the PTI style. When it's more than one, then I do the style with just the lower third at the bottom. But all these graphics you see around me, I think over here and down here, I make all those from scratch. It ain't a template. It ain't a stencil. It ain't nothing. Each piece and thing you see on here is a piece put together to make a bigger piece. That's facts, But this is what the meme said, right? And it's on your screen somewhere down here. So let me get this straight. Jordans with jeans are okay, but AEs, Anthony Edwards, with jeans is frowned upon. Okay. This debate that started probably around, you know what? I can't think of years for sneakers. Let me tell you the last time. The debate of wearing basketball sneakers today with jeans. Okay. Now let me preface this. Let me disclaimer this, because I already know some of you are like, oh my God, because you know how George and I feel about this. But George and I are also old. I'm 41. George is 44. We're old. We're actual OGs. You can do whatever you want. And you do. I love the listeners who listen to this podcast for entertainment value and understand I'm talking about me. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm not saying because I think wearing this with jeans is whack that you can't wear these with jeans. I'm talking about how I feel about them and how I observe how some of you do look. I'm glad some of you can look in the mirror and go, ooh, I'm nasty with it. Well, I'm over there behind the bushes like this. Let's talk about the meme first, right? Jordans 1 through 14, you can wear with jeans. Okay. Jordans 1 through, I'm not going to sit here. You know what? Maybe I'll give you a 15. Maybe I'll give you 15. Maybe I'll give you 16. All right. Up to 16. All right. I may think about 17. I don't know. All right. But there was a period of time where Jordans were shoes. Okay. I know that sounds crazy, right? You're thinking, well, they are shoes. Well, Jordans were your shoes. Like, Mom, can I go outside and play? Sure, son. Put your shoes on. I got my shoes. See, all of this right here, the gluttony of sneakers, the overabundance of sneakers, the turn of fashion of sneakers, the meaning that the meaning that went behind sneakers turned Jordans into iconic pieces of art. When Jordans were shoes, Mom, going to Billy's. We just wore them. It didn't matter if you were wearing jeans, shorts, church pants, underwear. It didn't matter what you had on. You put your J's on. You put your shoes on. Jeans used to be like, and I could be a little bit wrong with this. I'm thinking about when I grew up in the era. A nice pair of jeans that fit well were sort of like a status symbol. I think a lot of the jean commercials. I remember like jean commercials that would show like the butt and the legs. Like it was like, ooh, jeans. Like she's sexy. Like it used to be like a Cindy Crawford ad would have her in jeans and a tank top, and it was like hubba hubba. I know some of you younger than me, way younger than me, are probably like, jeans were sexy. Yes, I know you can open up Twitter and everybody's butt naked. All right, I get it. All right. But your jeans were your clothes. Like if it, maybe I'm not explaining this right? Jordans have a history with jeans. Anthony Edwards don't. I always wonder why the discussion is jeans. Can you wear basketball sneakers with jeans? I never understood why it was always jeans. Not just pants, like khakis or chinos or ripstops or nylons. I never understood why it wasn't, can you wear these with pants? It was always jeans. Jeans comes in ridiculous amount of cuts. Now I get it because, one of the most important things about people that they don't pay attention to with their jeans is the wash, the type of blue. You have to know how to wear a correct type of blue with your sneakers, with your Jordans, all right? Your Jordans, all right? And this is not, we're not talking about Air Max 1s, we're not talking about this, but I'm going to talk about some other sneakers in a second, which is because they're never in the discussion of can you wear with jeans, which is funny to me, right? Jordans evolved with our clothes and with jeans. Jordans never fell off the spectrum or out of our collection at all. There may have been a block of time where we were like, man, I got to chill out. I'm buying too many, or like, yeah, I don't need this many Jordans, or like, I don't need every single colorway. But they never fell out of our collection of fashion ever. If you were into sneakers, ever. Your jeans was gigantic, and then they started getting a little bit slimmer and smaller, then back to gigantic, then giant shorts and bigger. It went up and down, but there was the one thing that you could always count on, and that was a good pair of Jordans, okay? People ask these questions. Can you wear jeans with basketball sneakers? Fam, I'm not wearing a Giannis with jeans. Giannis and jeans don't have a history. Zero history. Timberlands and jeans got a history. Jeans and Jordans got a history. Jeans and OG Reebok pumps and got a history. Jeans and shell toes, they have a history. So I'm here to tell you, you can do whatever you want. You may even think you got a fit on, but I promise you, Anthony Edwards with jeans does not look good. Don't let Complex and anybody, man, I wish I should have pulled my pair of Anthony Edwards out. Let me tell you something. I think the Anthony Edwards are fire. Got them in hand. I went, man, these all right. They don't suck. They fire, but I got nothing for these. I'm going to tell you how I plan on wearing these Anthony Edwards. I'm going to tell you how I plan on wearing some of these other sneakers that I have that are basketball sneakers, and that excludes Jordans. You can get your fit off with Jordans. Okay, what nobody says. You can get your fit off with Jordans. You can't get your fit off with LeBrons. I don't give a shit. I don't care. Excuse me. Let me preface this. You can get your fit off with LeBrons from LeBron 1 up to LeBron 9. I want to give you 10, but I'm going to stop at 9. LeBron 9s, Kobe 8s, KD 4s are the absolute last basketball sneakers I wore regularly with jeans. Regularly. Put my fit on. My LeBron 9 Cannons. Get the jeans on. The jeans laid on top just right. Scarface LeBron 9s. Just right. Big bangs. Just right. Miami Nights. Whatever colorway. I had so many LeBron 9s. Chinas. KD 4s, just right. Your Kobe 8s, put a little cuff on the jeans, just right. That was the last era of basketball sneakers I wore religiously with jeans. Anthony Edwards, Ja Morant, Giannis, Trae Young, Donovan Mitchell, James Harden, they don't have a history with jeans. I know it sounds crazy. You're probably thinking, oh, what are you talking about, bro? They don't. I have never put on a pair of jeans and then put on a black pair of metallic fives and thought, what am I doing? Now, I'm not doing that because it's just for my own comfort level. I'm just not. But you'll catch me outside with some jeans and some red fours, black red fours, black cement fours. You'll catch me outside with some lightning fours and some jeans. You'll catch me outside with an infrared 6 and some jeans. Still. Well, it's rare. Well, yeah, maybe once a year. But they got a history. They got a history together. You're not going to convince me to wear my Anthony Edwards with jeans. I'm about to tell you right now how you wear Anthony Edwards. You wear Anthony Edwards like you're a varsity, like a high school basketball player going to an away game. You haven't seen Anthony Edwards himself wear Anthony Edwards with jeans. And he's about 6'8". He can wear bigger basketball sneakers and stuff like that, and it looks fine. Anytime you see Anthony Edwards wearing Anthony Edwards, is either with his basketball uniform, with Adidas gear on shorts, or with some type of big pants or sweats or something like that. If you want to make Anthony Edwards, Giannis, Ja Morant's, Trae Young's, Donovan Mitchell's, Harden's, and any other signature basketball sneaker out there, you have to dress like a high school basketball player getting on the bus going to an away game. You have to have big pants on, nylon, whatever they are, big pants, big sweats, cinched on the bottom, not cinched, it doesn't matter, and an oversized t-shirt, and, for accessory wise, a ball cap or some headphones and a backpack. That's how you make those look fire. To me, you can do whatever you want, but when I wear my Anthony Edwards, well, hold on. You know what? Hold that thought, because I'm going to talk about my Anthony Edwards later on when I talk about another pair of Anthony Edwards. That's how you have to wear basketball sneakers today. If you want to go outside, look, there are certain sneakers that I don't mind seeing people go outside wearing jeans because they have a history with jeans. Like I said, LeBron's 1 through 9 wear with jeans. They have a history. Fam, we was outside wearing Sprites, Miami Nights, Solar Reds, South Beach 8s. We was outside wearing them joints with jeans. So when somebody goes outside with jeans now, I don't think twice about it. They may not look proportioned. See, proportions matter when it comes to basketball sneakers and your clothes. If you're wearing bigger, baggier clothes, a Scottie Pippen Air More Up Tempo doesn't look that bad. But if you got on some slim jeans or some skin tight shirt or some small clothes and you got on a big Pippen on, fam, you look crazy. You look like a capital L walking around. This is how it looks. Your body is up here and your feet right here. This is how you look. Look at me. I got a fit on. No, you don't. You look crazy. I'm giving you guys the answers. I'm telling you. If you feel this incredible desire and need to wear basketball sneakers as your fit, more power to you. I love it. I love it. I don't have that in me right now. If I got on jeans, I got on a Air Max, or I got on something that's much more slimmer to me. I got on an Ultra Boost, an Air Max. I got on a Human Race. I got on a Dunk. I'm sorry. I can't put on military fours. I'm going to cop, and you'll catch me outside in them. But it's going to be a trial and error when I get in the closet and pull some clothes out to put on with it. I'm going to go through about 4 or 5 pair of pants until I land on probably some big, baggy, straight leg, cargo, carpenter, olive green, something. And that's just where I'm at with it. You know what I mean? I will tell you, Devin Booker's the exact same way. I would like to wear them with jeans. They're probably one of the better ones that can go with jeans. They have a very dunkish slash Air Force One feel to them slash, SB feel to them. I love that about them. So they don't feel as, they don't feel as in the way. Also, how the toe box on your basketball sneaker matters. To me, like I said, but Jordans, they have a history with Jordans have a history with jeans. You know what I mean? So anyways, but hopefully that's somewhat, I'm not gonna say deads the conversation because, that'd be very arrogant of me to think that, I could come on this podcast and dead that conversation. But honestly, I just wish a lot of people would move on from certain things. Like, cats just harbor on these exact same topics over and over and over in sneakers. And it's like, it's honestly like, buddy, just move on from it. Appreciate everybody who likes, subscribe, share this podcast. Like I said, we did move the podcast over to the Believe Network. Appreciate them for giving us an opportunity to be a part of their platform. I had meant to do this a long time ago on a previous episode we've done the podcast, and I feel really bad that I didn't do this because, I thought it was so fire, and I always had in my notes and I always had in my head to remember to bring this up. Please remember to bring this up. And I feel like this is a great opportunity to bring this up, even though I'm late with it. But with the jeans topic about wearing with basketball sneakers and stuff like that, let me touch on that really quick before I move on to what I was going to say. Nobody has ever questioned, can you wear Air Tech Challenge 2s with jeans? Never. I've never heard it. Nobody has ever questioned, can you wear Air Trainers with jeans? I've never ever heard the argument for any sneaker that's considered like a trainer, like a Griffey, or we'll go back to a Vic, a Bo Jackson. I never ever heard anybody question whether or not you can wear jeans with anything from the Nike, sort of like their training aspects. They're cross trainers. That's what we'll call them, cross trainers. I've never ever heard that, but for whatever reason, basketball sneakers is the one that discussed a lot, and that to me shows the difference in. And is most of those trainers and things that I talk about, even with the brand new models and versions of trainers that have come out, and I'm gonna touch on that a little bit when I make my point or give my shout out in a little bit. Nobody ever questioned even new signature models or new trainers that came out if you can wear them with jeans. Nobody. Not one person. Basketball sneakers have always been the ones that have been so specific to their sport. Like it's such a it's one of your main tools for the sports. You know what I mean? So it's a little bit different. But let me give my shout out real quick. I'm going to give a shout out to Mosh, right? First of all, Mosh has just been killing it. Just, I've talked about on this podcast before. It's not, we've all tried it on Nike ID. I still go on Nike ID and just like, maybe I could go in here and make something fire. Nah. It is hard to design a sneaker from scratch. It may be equally, if not harder, to pick the right colorways for your sneaker. I think the design aspect of it is a little bit easier because you have an aesthetic. You like other sneakers that exist and you can sort of model yours after that. You know how you want it to feel. You know how you want the shape to be. But picking the colors for sneakers is extremely hard. And I want to give a special shout out to Mosh because he had released I guess we'll call it a player edition of his Mosh Runner for Charlie McAvoy, the defenseman on the Boston Brewers. And it was released at Concepts in Boston. It's so fire. Like, I think that is so dope to see somebody like Mosh, who is an OG, who has been in sneakers forever, get those opportunities and those ideas and things like that. And Boston Bruins is a hockey team for those who are listening who don't know anything. And this may be the second, and correct me if I'm wrong, I know there've been, Nike did a street ball sneaker. I think LA Gear, a street hockey sneaker. I think LA Gear did one. I think Wayne Gretzky had a Nike. Actually, Wayne Gretzky did. Actually, we had the Wayne Gretzky. And we got that Wayne Gretzky one from Mervyn's. We had the white pair. Oh, we had the black pair. Or the white pair. I don't know. But he designed his Mosh Runner as a player edition for Charlie McAvoy on the Boston Bruins, who's a hockey player. He's not wearing these in his profession. And I looked at that and I said, yo, that's dope. And it looked like everybody came out in Boston to go to Concepts. And shout out to Concepts for even doing that. Because Mosh is an independent brand. And the fact they let him sell his sneakers and have an event with Charlie McAvoy to come in there and, talk to customers and things like that is fire. And I think they had some concept merch and stuff to go with the sneakers. Fire. Shout out to Mosh, man. Like, I thought that was so dope. And I feel bad that I didn't bring it up earlier. But with that being said, when I saw that and I said to myself, dang, Mosh may have put out the second or third or fourth ever hockey player sneaker. And a lot of conversations over and over about who should get signature sneakers, and nobody cares about signature sneakers, and nobody wears LeBrons and blah, 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 which is not true. It's just that grown men typically aren't, but you go to these basketball games, these kids, they're wearing it. It made me ask myself, how come Nike, Reebok, Adidas, and things like that don't put more focus in those athletes that, yes, don't wear those sneakers to do their job? A lot of people had no idea, or even should I maybe let them know right now, that Patrick Mahomes is a part of Adidas and has sneakers. Like, has sneakers and clothes and a signature logo. But nobody cares. And we're talking about one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time already. If not, if you want to make the argument greatest, knock yourself out. Tom Brady is still the Billy Goat. But ain't nobody checking for no Adidas Patrick Mahomes stuff. And then I say to myself, man, Mosh made a runner. It ain't a training sneaker. You can work out in it and you can run in it and do things if you want to. Has no affiliation with hockey whatsoever, but McAvoy, he could train in it, he could run in it and things like that. Why don't these brands focus on more of those athletes? People forget. Bo Jackson's, Ken Griffey Jr., Hideo Nomo, Michael Vick, Darrelle Revis, Victor Cruz. They had signature sneakers. Now, obviously, they played on the football field. They played Andre Agassi. He wore Agassi's. They played tennis in there, excuse me. They played in a version of their sneaker on the field. It was a cleat version, right? It's funny because we brought up on another podcast. I brought it up. I said it just shows how elite Nike basketball is because football players are getting custom cleats to look like Nike basketball sneakers. You see cats out there with their cleats customized to look like LeBrons. You see cats out there wearing sneakers to look like Dunks, to look like Air Force Ones, to look like SBs. Like, they're not making, they don't want to wear the football cleat. They want to wear the football cleat that looks like South Beach 8s. The Victor Cruz, to me, is one of my favorite sneakers of all time. It's a little bit of like Flight 89 with a little bit of Yeezy 2, with a little bit of Air Tex Challenge 2 in it, and a little bit of, Air Trainer 3 in it. It's a mosh, like a mashed up version of a few sneakers and done to perfection. And the colorways, fire. Every single one of them. I have about 6 pairs of Victor Cruz. I have the all red, I have the black, I have 2 royal blues, I have the gray, and I have the wheat Timberland color pair. I don't know how many that is I named, but those are the pairs that I have. Nobody ever questioned, does Victor Cruz look good with jeans? Honestly, if I saw you wearing shorts with Victor Cruz, I'd think you may be a little off. Darrell Revis. Now, hold on now. That Victor Cruz, it was one model. Okay? I think I'm going from newest back to a little bit older. Darrell Revis. One of the greatest, one of the most comfortable Nikes. You heard me correctly. One of the most comfortable Nikes of all time. That's one. 2, one of the greatest trainers of all time. And I'll go 3. One of the greatest signature sneakers of all time. And I'll say introduction signature sneaker. And I say this because he only had one. They came out with the 2 that never released. It was a sample, and you can find some samples of the Revis 2 on eBay every once in a while. They were stupid high at first, but I think they've come down a lot. You may be able to find one on like Gold and StockX and stuff like that, but they never released. Things just kind of started, deteriorating with him. Health, started getting cooked on the field, whatnot, whatever. I think George and I, no joke, bought every single colorway of the Revis. I know Simple did. The pairs that I still have, Jets green, Knicks or Mets, and we call it Knicks. The Wolf Grays, the Volt. I had the camo. I still have the all reds. I think they were cherries or something like that. They were black red. I feel there's one more. I had a total of about 8 pairs. I think right now still I got about 4, maybe. I gave a couple away for free to my nephew. Shout out to Zay, my nephew at NYU, doing his thing, hooping. Nobody ever questioned, can you wear those with jeans? You don't even see anybody wear those anymore. Like, at all. It's one of the most comfortable Nikes of all time, and that joint is fire. And I'm going to put the graphics on screen so you can see these. And then let's go to the Michael Vick. Michael Vick had 4 pairs, okay? I think either the 4th pair got canceled during all the dog stuff, because I don't remember the 4th pair, or maybe 5th, coming out in stores. I ended up buying a pair off eBay, and it wasn't as dope as the 1, 2, and 3. That was my thing. Every birthday, Rocio, my wife now, but a girlfriend at the time, would buy me a pair of Michael Vicks every birthday. So I always had, pretty much the Vicks. I think I may have had every single colorway in the 1 and the 2. The 3, I think I had, maybe it was just 3 models. It may have only been 3. Maybe the 3 got canceled during this. I don't know. Wore those with jeans religiously. Nobody ever, and they were stupid fire. And nobody gives Michael Vick credit for having a fire first signature sneaker. Everybody always, when it comes to signature sneakers, people just stick to basketball. They just basketball. Signature sneaker. What's the best signature sneakers ever? What's the best very first signature sneaker? Nobody ever goes to Griffey's? Come on, man. Griffey's are some of the greatest sneakers of all time. Nobody ever takes those in consideration when it comes to what can you wear them with jeans? Can you do that? Or where they stand in sneaker culture. Trainers like Michael Vicks, Hideo Nomos, Griffey's, Bo Jackson, stuff like that. It's like they're just over here. We love them. But for some reason, we just have this infinity with with other things. And partly that could be due to the fact that like the version they wore on the field was a cleat, wasn't the one that you could wear, whatnot. Mosh making a player edition of his Mosh Runner 1 for McAvoy on the Boston Brewers, I thought was dope. I'm pretty confident if you asked sneakerheads, even if you polled NFL players and asked them probably who was one of the coolest athletes in their sport, all I could think of is Lamar Jackson. I don't hear anybody raising their voice for a Lamar Jackson signature sneaker. He is hands down by far the closest thing we've seen to Michael Vick. He is stupid electric. And honestly, the man wears a Pooh Shiesty mask in press conferences with diamonds. And sometimes Lamar Jackson is wearing so much Gucci, it looks whack. That's how much Gucci he wears on some time. I'm pretty confident if you ask sneakerheads would they like to see Lamar Jackson signature sneaker, come on, man. Nike, I think he's a Nike athlete. They're dropping the ball on this. If he's an Adidas athlete, oh my God. Adidas, wake up. Wake up. I don't know if he's an Adidas. I think he's a Nike athlete. I'm just saying. But I will get back to Adidas needing to wake up on a different topic. We need to start seeing these very popular cult classic athletes with signature sneakers. Kind of an odd person and a whole lot going on in his life. But Tyreek Hill, one of the fastest players in NFL history, doesn't have a signature sneaker, huh? Kittle? Kelsey's? You know? You mean to tell me that no Jamar Chase? Jefferson? Some of the greatest in the sport, nobody got a signature sneaker? I think the only person in the NFL with a signature sneaker might be Patrick Mahomes. And I don't think anybody owns it. I don't understand that. You're missing out on opportunity here. Nike, Adidas, somebody. We just had the NFL draft. You got Stroud, who's going to be a second-year quarterback. You got cool cats like, Joe Cool with the Bengals. You got Josh Allen. You got a lot of cool cats out here that could a signature sneaker, something. The closest thing that we've had was Saquon Barkley got to put some, unique colorways. That was like a player version for him. It wasn't a signature sneaker. It was just awesome colorways put on an Air Trainer 3, I believe it was, for Saquon Barkley which was fire. And, stupid fire. Nike, Adidas, wake up. Let's see what else I had on the list. Let's talk about, I was going to save this for a little bit later, but, Nike, Nike, to me, Nike had a very weird week last week, or maybe the week before. It was very weird to me. The conflicting headlines. Now, neither one of them had anything to do with each other, but they just both shouldn't have been out at the exact same time. Now, let me set the scene for you, okay? I'm going to set the scene for both storylines, okay? All I can see is a team leader at Nike gathering everybody around. Come on in, guys. Come on in. Come on in. Let's have a meeting. Team meeting, guys. Come on in. Come on. How you guys doing? Come on in. Everybody in? Everybody in? Everybody in? Good. So first off, I want to thank everybody for their hard work. You give yourselves a round of applause. Nike's been doing their thing. We've been out here, meeting our goals. We've been out here, trying to get back on track with innovation. We're trying to get over that hump of COVID and, et cetera. And that's because of you guys. Give yourselves a hand again. But we have some good news and we have some bad news. The good news is we signed Caitlin Clark to 4 years, $28 million. Give the team a round of applause. The bad news is 740 of you won't be here to see it. And if you see your name on this list that's sitting on the table, please see HR immediately after this meeting. Thank you, guys. Have a lovely day. Signing Caitlin Clark. Now, this has nothing to do with Caitlin Clark. This is not her doing. This didn't happen because of her. Just as a regular person from the outside looking in, I know if I was a Nike employee that's in trouble or in jeopardy of losing my job or just lost my job, I know I am not trying to see in the same news cycle signed Caitlin Clark for a record for a women basketball player, $28 million 4 years, and 740 Nike employees being laid off. I don't want to see that at the same time. I saw that just an outside consumer and I went, ooh. Felt like being punched in the stomach. Now, I don't know the ins and outs of why these employees are getting laid off. I don't know. I have no idea. When you read these articles about why these employees are getting laid off, they're always so vague. Well, we took a dip. We took a dip in profits. Oh, we're the innovation, blah, 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 blah. The amount of billions that company makes, stop it. You would love, I'm sure there's companies out there, I don't know of them, but you would love for whomever is at the top to say, hey, I don't need to be paid $6 billion this year. I'll only take $2 billion if that means these employees can keep their job. I would love that. Remember when I said that earlier, when people used to be better? Or people used to at least act like they wanted to be better. That's neither here nor there. I don't want to see those two stories in the same news cycle. Period. Now, let's get to Caitlin Clark. I understand it. I do. She may be the greatest women's college basketball player of all time. I don't know. I don't know if I'm prepared to say that yet. And I love Caitlin Clark. She is great. I love her drive. I love her passion. I love her. My favorite thing in basketball players is when you could tell that basketball player wants to be better than everybody else. I love that. She wants to be better than everybody else. I love it. Sip break. Adidas. Wake up. It was like news that came out that, this brand offered this and, Under Armour offered this, which, be honest with you, I thought she was going to go to Under Armour. I mean, she is in college basketball, women's college basketball version of Steph Curry. I thought for certain Under Armour was not going to be playing around and make sure she is in there wearing Under Armour. All right. Under Armour has one signature sneaker. Like, what the? I think it had some Cam Newtons at the time at one point, but them don't count. Finding out that Adidas had only offered, I can't even remember what it was, but I thought it was gross. And I said to myself, what's up, Adidas? Now I get it. Is it gun shy? Trigger shy? What is it? When you're just too scared to pull the trigger. I get it. Adidas is currently in that window of probably, let's take it easy. Let's not go crazy. Because let's be honest, Adidas has failed with Yeezy. And I'm not going to say Adidas failed Yeezy. Yeezy failed Adidas, but it's a failure on their part. They take the L. A complete failure with Beyonce. It's not even close. Okay, I don't care what anybody says. You know what's funny? When Beyonce was still with Adidas, I never saw anybody wearing Ivy Park. Now that she's not there, I see Ivy Park quite often. Something, t-shirt, bag, sneakers, something. See it quite often. Pharrell seems to just want to be in Paris, and Louis, I believe he's still Adidas, but he doesn't seem to be too involved with it. And then right now, Fear of God, man, it just ain't working out. It's not working out. The rollout was whack. The shoes and stuff, they're not that bad. Like, I actually like the shoes a lot, Honestly, I like all of them a lot. Like, I have no problem with the shoes. So, when Adidas gets presented the opportunity to possibly sign one of the greatest women basketball players of all time. I'll say basketball players. I don't want to just, say women basketball players. I'm sure they probably went to the table like, we don't want to jump out the window because we have a lot of track record of bad luck. But man, there is something that's a guarantee, and I guarantee Caitlin Clark is going to be great in the WNBA. She's just going to be great for the rest of her career. It's a guaranteed lock, and I hate the fact that Adidas, they don't want to go the extra mile for that. You know what I mean? They're killing it right now in the basketball division of Adidas right now, to a certain extent. Okay. And I say that they're killing it to a certain extent because, like, I am at a indoor sports facility complex every single weekend to watch my daughter play on the indoor soccer side. And on the other side, there is always AAU teams or club teams basketball. I think it's like 12 courts over there. I mean, games that start at 8 a.m. all the way to midnight. I go over there and watch all the time. I have never seen a Harden outside, not even just in the basketball gym, outside. I haven't seen an Anthony Edwards ever outside. I've never seen an Anthony Edwards in person until I got my pair in the mail. That's facts. That's why, people are jumping out the window for the Anthony Edwards, as they should. But I'm not seeing them on the streets. Like, it's not translating to the streets. I'm not seeing a lot of Anthony Edwards and Hardens being posted on social media. I'm not. I could name all 3 people I've seen post their Hardens that I know that I've seen. And one of them is Gilbert Arenas. So that don't even count. Anyways, they're just a little, to me, there's still a disconnect with stupid fire Adidas sneakers and the streets. The streets may own them, but the streets ain't bringing them outside. There's still something there. Back to Caitlin Clark. Look, that to me is a guarantee. That's a Adidas has to. If they want to really put a stamp on their basketball and do something, they have to. I genuinely do. I genuinely feel like that. You know, I know I've mentioned this before. There is no championships. I mean, Candace Parker is a part of Adidas family. I don't know if it's still there or whatnot, but I still see her Adidas a lot when she's out, and I see her in Adidas when she's on TNT doing commentary and stuff like that. But essentially, there's no championships amongst the basketball division at Adidas. Harden has no championship. Trae Young has no championship. Damian Lillard has no championship. Donovan Mitchell has no championship. Anthony Edwards has no championship. Now, Anthony Edwards is like this. He may get one this year. You know, that's how balling. Wolves balling. But they needed to bring in another one, and to have Caitlin Clark that could have been pulling that girl side and that women demographic and that WNBA demographic. It just would have helped out to me. But shout out to Caitlin Clark, man. That's dope of her. Hopefully there's some other WNBA players that get some signature sneakers. You know, like I said, me and George talked about on the podcast before. I remember Don Staley had a signature. Cooper, Cheryl Miller, Tina Thompson, Lisa Leslie. Like, these women basketball players had their own signature sneakers, and they were fire. Rebecca Lobo. These sneakers were fire, and then they just stopped. Like, and I get it, the women's basketball game didn't grow exponentially in that block of time. It wasn't until probably the last 3 to 5 years where people really started going like this. Women's basketball is all right. I am a huge fan of women's basketball because it looks like basketball. Like, I'll get off. I don't want to get that topic. So, but, shout out to them, Adidas. Wake up, wake up, wake up. Let's talk about Puma for a second, right? Shout out to my dog, Rick, man. That's my dog, man. I think many of you probably saw it. If you didn't see it, Pumas is releasing LaMelo Ball's first lifestyle sneaker called, I think, La France. I don't know what his, look, I'm from Paris, and I didn't see him there. I didn't. He wasn't there when I was there, so I don't get it. The shoe is not for me. It's probably not for you listening either. If you know what a Lavin, I think it's a Lavin sneaker, big, bulky, looks like an Osiris, thick laces that go across like that. It's similar to that, which is one of those sneakers that kind of shows and proves that, like, he had a hand in it. When you let people who don't have a design aesthetic and don't understand design something, all they know how to do is create a different version of things that they like and exist. I'm pretty sure I've seen him in Lavins, whatever they're called. I don't care. Quite often. He just made a Puma version of that. When I saw that LaMelo Ball, who is hurt all the time, phenomenal basketball player, but he's also in Charlotte, and he's always hurt. Hardly ever playing on the court. You know what it made me go? I said, boy, that LaMelo Ball Puma contract might be one of the greatest sneaker contracts of all time. LaMelo Ball has 3 signature sneakers already out. The 4th pictures have already leaked. of the signature of the next one, and a lifestyle shoe. LaMelo Ball has 5 signature sneakers out. Essentially, the LaMelo Ball 4 MB4 doesn't come out until, I don't know, sometime this year. Whatever contract that he got with Puma, to me, is like the ideal contract to have. LaMelo Ball has been in the league for 3 years, and he's had a signature sneaker for each year. 3 or 4 years. Each year he's had a signature sneaker. His signature sneaker came out his first year, then he had one the second year, and they come out every single year. It isn't like one signature sneaker comes out, wait 2-3 years, then another. No. It's 1, 2, back to back to back to back to back, and a lifestyle shoe coming out. I have no idea how that lifestyle shoe is going to do. It's extremely tacky, mainly probably because of the color. He's about 5 to 7 years too late with the all red sneaker thing. But shout out to him, man. That Puma contract is beautiful, man. Any athlete, you get a new contract with somebody, you ask them. I'm sorry, if I was signing with Nike, if I went to Nike, I would say I would like a signature sneaker for my job, which is basketball or football or whatever, and then I want a dunk. I don't care if it's the SB. I want a dunk. I want something that I could design for myself. So like Kyler Murray has as a lifestyle sneaker to wear. Not everybody's going to want to wear my basketball signature sneaker, but I could make them something that they could rock on the streets. I want that. That would be in my contract, period. But shout out to him, man. And that was one of a few sneakers that unveiled themselves this week. Let's talk about the Jordan 39, man. Shout out to my dog David Walker, man. Shout out to all the homies that sent me pictures of the 39. And I love everybody who follows the podcast and that I talk to DM, even if they don't listen to the podcast. Cats that I DM and talk to on a regular basis. They send me a lot of stuff, news breaks that maybe I haven't seen yet. Cats send it to me all the time, and I appreciate it. Shout out to my dogs in Chicago. My dog K-Rob. Sorry. The Jordan 39, fire. It looks like what people would want to wear. I don't know if that makes sense. Like, when I look at the new Jordan 39, I don't see anybody thinking this is whack. They may not buy it, but I don't see a person going, this sucks. I see everybody going, hey man, these is all right. Or these is fire. I don't think anybody will look at these and go, those suck or ill or anything. I think when I look at the Jordan 39, I go, these look grown up. And not grown up to the point to where the youth wouldn't want to wear them, but they look mature. They look like I've been here, done that. I want a pair. I'm going to get a pair. I'm not going to pay retail. I will be going to the Nike outlet, hopefully copping for $81.23. But I will have a pair. Now, you know what's crazy about like sneakers nowadays, right? You know what? I'm gonna talk about that in a little bit. Jordan, what happened to the new Jordan model unveiling itself during All-Star weekend? Like, I get it. NBA playoffs, fine, I guess. The issue is that you unveiled it on one of your Jordan brand athletes that don't have a signature sneaker. So we weren't going to see the Jordan 39 on Tatum. Zion's hurt, but we weren't going to see a Jordan 39 on Zion. We weren't going to see a Jordan 39 on Westbrook. They have signature sneakers with Jordan brand, which leaves Paolo Banchero, if I said that right. I didn't watch 1 second of the Orlando and the Cavaliers series. Now I still have time. I think they may be at game 6 or game 7 now. I still have time to watch. But unveiling your Jordan 39 in the Orlando Cleveland Cavaliers series? Eee. But them joints is fire. Them joints is clean. I would love for the Jordan model to get back to being introduced, unveiled at All-Star Weekend. That has to be a staple in sneakers. There are certain things that I understand with sneakers, that times have changed, things have changed, people have changed. I get it. But there are certain things that when you're in sneakers, you want to remain forever. And Jordans and All-Star packs, All-Star Weekend, that's the very least Nike, Jordan brands can do for us. You got rid of first come, first serve. You don't send sneakers to stores anymore. Everything's a raffle. Everything's a draw. Everything's limited. Travis. At the very least, can you just please keep these few little things? Jordan's unveiling, new Jordan signature model unveiling at All-Star Weekend. That's all I ask. That's it. That's all I ask. I'll have no problem seeing a Paolo Banchero, is that right, introduce the Jordan 39 during the All-Star game. I ain't watching the Orlando Cavaliers series. I'm going to watch the highlights, check the box score, and give my opinion on it and act like I sat there and watched every second. Shout out to Jordan Brand, man. Let's talk about the Adidas Anthony Edwards Low. Nobody saw that coming. Now, this is where I will go to Adidas. Stay awake. Stay awake. Stay awake. Genius. Absolute genius by Adidas and Anthony Edwards and whoever made the decision. Here's the decision I'm talking about. Not the decision to make a low, the decision to hide the low. Nobody. I am always on the internet. Nobody that I knew, nothing that I had ever seen had gave any indication a Anthony Edwards Low was going to come out. Adidas is genius, man. If there would have been any leaked news, information during the unveiling of his signature sneaker, not release, that a low would be coming, none of us would have bought the highs. Hide the lows, sell the highs. Genius. Because now we all already have highs. And now we're going to go stupid on the lows. Fam, I'm buying minimum 3 Anthony Edwards Lows. Fam, the Anthony Edwards high is only 120. The low must be $99. $99. I'm making this price up. But if that Anthony Edwards is $99.99, I'm copying no less than 3. Adidas. Man, keep staying awake. Stay awake, man. You're there. Adidas, I promise you. I promise you're there. I promise you're right there. Keep up the good work, because that was smart. Hide the lows, sell the high, unveil the lows, make us go need. I need Anthony Edwards 1 lows. Stupid fire. George needs them. And all the homies need them. Need them. We copping. Genius. And last, before I wrap up this episode of this stupid podcast, yesterday, Nigel Sylvester unveiled, I guess, showed his upcoming collaboration. It's a Jordan 4 RM, I believe, or RM. It's essentially a low top Jordan 4. Now, we had seen pictures of this a long time ago, not his collaboration, but pictures of the low top Jordan 4. I think the very first picture that I saw of the low top Jordan 4 was a black and white pair. And I may have seen that just on my own somewhere, or someone sent it to me a long time ago or whatnot. I don't know. But we had already seen it. Me and George, I think we even talked about it on an episode of the podcast. I don't know. All I know is that, like, I think the first time I seen some news about it, or maybe there's news this week, whatever, there's going to be like 8 total pairs, not pairs, 8 total models. 8 colorways of this Jordan 4 low model. And Jordan 4, yes, it's a Jordan 4 that's lower, but it doesn't look like a Jordan 4 like you think. Like, it looks like there's little pieces that remind me of Eddie Jones, one of his Pro Quicks, maybe Pro Quick 1, Pro Quick 6, one of those Pro Quicks. It's like this little wing in the back that was always on the Eddie Jones Jumpman Pro Quicks, one of them. And then you look at it and you go, Flight 89, Jordan 4. The Flight 89 and Jordan 4 do favor each other tremendously. But these to me are fire. I like them. There's supposed to be 8 colorways and 2 of them are collaborations. One is a Nigel Sylvester. I don't know what the other collaboration is. And the other ones are going to be 6 GRs. You know, this is one of the 2 last Jordans out of 1 through 14 that doesn't have a low. The only Jordan, I'm sorry. No. There's 2 left. Yeah, Jordan 3 doesn't have a low, and Jordan 10s don't have a low. All the other Jordans have a low. There's a low 1, low 2, now a low 4, low 5, low 6, low 7, low 8, low 9, no low 10, low 11, low 12, low 13, low 14. Oh, and just like we said many years ago, to expect a Jordan 4 low, expect a Jordan 3 low, expect it. Jordan 10 low, I highly doubt it. But expect a Jordan 3 low. Don't be baffled. Don't be shocked, floored when one comes out. Like, relax. But I love this Sylvester collaboration. This to me goes in that category of non-basketball player, other athlete, player edition sneakers. You know, his first one was a Jordan 1 high, so that really isn't like a signature model, but, you know, I like the collaboration with outside athletes wearing Jordans and things like that. You know, I would love to see a Nigel Sylvester Air Max 1 or Air Max 95 or something like that. There's a lot of untapped resources out there that could be very beneficial to sneaker culture. It's time to move on. Like, it really is. It's time to say to yourself, hey, skateboarder who's really, really good and a lot of people aren't too familiar with you or know you, but, you know, would you mind making an Air Force 1 for us and maybe an Air Max 1 and, you know, a Jordan 6 and all that? You want to do that? Come on aboard. Let's see what we got for you. Let's give you an SB dunk. Like, it's time. It's time. Anyways, that's all I got. Like I said, man, I appreciate everybody who likes to subscribe. You know, like I said, expect weekly episodes now. 1 from the closet, 1 from the studio. Shout out to my dog, George. I just appreciate all you guys, man. You know, stick with the podcast for this many years. This is episode 357, which means that number will be going up tremendously now that we're going back to weekly. And also I will probably start doing the titles different in all your platforms, all your podcast platforms. So I don't know. I may remove like the number of the episode and just give them titles from now on. I think that may be a little bit better. I think it does something to the algorithms or something. I don't know. Just trying anything, man. Like I said, man, this could be the last year. Or this could be the beginning of many, many years. I don't know. Also want to give a shout out to Hannah, George's wife. Happy birthday to Hannah. I should have said at the top of the show, Greg, you stupid. One of the best people I know. One of my wife's great friends. She's part of my wife's scholarship fund, the Rose Fund. And, outside of that, just one of the best people that I think I've ever met in my entire life. And that's no joke. I always put it in a joking manner, but Hannah is by far a top 5 person I know in my life, and I just really appreciate her, and I appreciate George. They're family. Like we spent Thanksgivings together before. Like, I'd do anything for them. You know what I mean? And I hope that's reciprocated. I don't know, but anyways, back next week. That's Distinctus. Pow 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 pow.